So now I'm going to jump into talking a little bit about my hypnosis training that's coming up. I want to share a little bit about why I'm doing that training and give you a couple of secrets for if you decided to go on that journey with me, what would come out of that. And then I'm going to open it up for questions. Okay. So if you have any questions about anything that I'm talking about, whether it's the hypnosis school or hypnosis or anything else that I've talked about here tonight, then feel free to ask away. So I'll open that up in just a little bit. Okay. I do want to thank everybody. I'm looking at the people that were able to show up here live, and it's really wonderful that you took the time to be here. So I recognize every single person that's on that list. And so thanks for being with me tonight. I really appreciate that. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about this mission. Why did I decide to open my hypnosis school doors again after all these years? Well, for the last 6 years, people have been asking me, can you teach me what you do? And I usually let that go in one ear and out the other, because I know if I get asked 10 times that there's only going to be maybe one person that would actually follow through, because everybody says, wow, I wish I could do what you do, but then they don't want to put the work in to do it. Right. And so, because what I do is hard. It's difficult. It's easy for me because I've been doing it for so long and I have lots of practice, but it's challenging, right? To be able to know how to help anybody with any problem they have is pretty amazing. It doesn't matter what problem people call me up with. I mean, they could be, have bulimia, or they could be, struggling with OCD, or they could be really depressed, or they could be riddled with anxiety, or they could have panic attacks, or they could, bad habits, or pulling their hair out, or they're chewing their nails, or they're afraid of flying, or they're afraid of frogs, or they're afraid of germs, or they're afraid of thunderstorms, or, kids who are afraid to go to school because they have a fear of vomiting, people who have a fear of going to the doctor, the dentist, the chronic challenges, migraines, so many of the challenges, of course, weight loss and quitting smoking and reducing stress and overcoming trauma. I mean, it doesn't really matter what people call me up for. I know what to do. And I've helped so many people with so many different challenges, and it really feels like a superpower. It feels like this is really cool. I can walk around and throw a rock in the air. It's going to hit someone who has a problem. And I bet you I can help them solve that problem or empower themselves so that they can solve their own problems, which is really what I'm doing. And so that's very exciting. So I've had a passion for many years of helping people to end needless emotional suffering. I call it needless emotional suffering because so much of the anxiety, so much of the depression, so much of the anger, the jealousy, and the hurt and the envy is coming from limiting beliefs that do not need to be there, right? We all have them, but they don't need to be there. And so as a result, it's needless emotional suffering. I mean, in life, we're going to have pain and there's going to be suffering, but I think that's part of life. And perhaps that pain is there to help us to know what pleasure is. I mean, how can you know what daytime is if you've never had nighttime? Right. So maybe it's there to help show us, the opposite. But there's so much suffering that is not necessary. So much of the post-traumatic stress that people have is not necessary. So much of the guilt and shame that we carry around is not necessary. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of our resources. It's a waste of our potential. It's a waste of who we are. Right. It doesn't make us better. It holds us back. And so we got to take our pain and use it and transform it into purpose. And so I've developed the path to be able to do that. And it works consistently almost every single time. And so, but I can't help all these people that are struggling. I mean, there's billions of people that are struggling and hurting and scared and frustrated and struggling. The struggle is real. Right. And so, and then the second thing the second mission, I guess, is that I just keep coming back to, and I'm not sure why. I feel like God keeps pointing me in this direction. I have, references in my mind and memories in my mind of why I keep feeling pulled in this direction. But, when that voice in my head tells me I need to go in that direction, I listen to it now. I trust my gut feelings. I trust my instincts. I listen to it. I'm very tuned in. And when that voice, whether it's coming from my mind or it's coming from God or wherever it's coming from, I listen to it. And it takes me in the right direction. And so I kept getting this feeling like I need to help more veterans. I grew up with almost all the dads around me were Vietnam vets, and I saw how they struggled and, how they turned to alcohol and how they had so many problems because of the challenges that they had. And then when I got older, I had friends that went in the service, and I saw how they, were struggling with alcohol, and how they were, their marriages were terrible, and how they were, having, they couldn't sleep at night, and self-destructive behaviors. And I work with so many veterans in my hypnosis practice that I understood why and what was going on. And we always are going to have veterans, because, that's the kind of world we live in. And so, the armed forces are very good at training people to become soldiers, but I think they do a very lousy job of training them when they come home. Right? I think that a lot of times people are just left to go home, and you do some VA visits, and you try to get some medication, and the tools that are offered are terrible. And so there's so many people that are suffering and struggling and having a really hard time when they come home. A friend of mine said that, actually, I think he's here on here. Yeah, Josh is with us. Hey, Josh. So said that 22 veterans take their own life accidentally or on purpose every day. 22 veterans every day. I mean, that's horrible. You don't have people that go put their butt on the line, and the family that has to be at home wondering what's going to happen. And then they come back after they put their butt on the line for us in our country, and then we don't do anything. So veterans come home now, and we have hero parades for them. That's not what happened with the Vietnam vets that I knew, but still, what happens from active combat and all those triggers that are installed, all the traumas that people go through, the tools that they're getting to help with that are terrible. The tools that I have are amazing, life-changing, game-changing. And so I got to build an army of healers that can go help their brothers and sisters and create a grassroots movement to go help our veterans. I mean, every time I send a newsletter about this, I get 10 people that email or message me or text me, and they're like, I have a brother, I'm married to a veteran, my parents were veterans, and my son's a veteran, right? And so many people are connected, and they're all so thankful. This is so good. God bless you. Thank you. Coming straight from veterans. The VA, what you said about the VA is an understatement, about the lack of good tools that they provide. I'm not trying to slam the VA, but this is just what so many people have said over the years, and so governments and bureaucracy is not going to change this. It has to be a grassroots movement from lots and lots of people. This is how I can put this together and train amazing people. So those are the missions that I have: to train the best hypnotists in the world, teach them my one belief away method, and then go out there and start transforming lives. It is so meaningful. It is so rewarding. I mean, every day someone's thanking me, or, and sending me an email or a post, or, kind words. And I mean, that's pretty remarkable that every day someone's patting me on the back, which, is amazing, right? It's almost embarrassing sometimes but I love it, because it's love, and people are sharing their love and how wonderful that is. And that just inspires me to help more people and to keep doing it. And so it's a love fest, man. It's it's really awesome. And so, so that's what I'm going to do and offer these trainings. And then I'm going to put together one final mission seminars, 3-day seminars, and take people live who maybe they don't want to be hypnotists, but they need the training. And so we're going to put this together and take people through that. And so I'm working on that now, and it's a huge amount of work. I'm a mountain mover. I don't know why, but every time I'm like, I'm going to move this mountain, and then I move that mountain, and then I start looking for the next mountain. So I move mountains, and I'm looking for people to help me. So if you're one of those people, you make sure and let me know. Whether it's through doing the hypnosis program or in some whatever way you have. If you've got skills, if you've got talents, if you have connections, if you have you want to volunteer, if you have some way of being able to contribute, you let me know, and I'll add you to the army of healers, right? And we'll make it happen. So okay. There is a second reason why I wanted to open up hypnosis school again, and that is because the hypnosis profession, I don't know what's going on with these hypnotists that are actually teaching programs. Now, there's some fantastic instructors out there there are some really amazing instructors out there that I have huge respect for. But there are so many other hypnotists out there that keep cranking out these cheap trainings. So I got an email today, and I know the person, and they're a nice person, right? I like the person, but they're doing this, this 7-day training, 100 hours, which is the minimum, which will get you a big fancy certificate through the National Guild of Hypnotists, right? And they're selling the training for $2,200. You can't be a barber for $2,200. And, so you can't be a massage therapist for $2,200. You can't really be anything for $2,200, except you're going to be someone who is an expert in the human mind and changing behavior for $2,200. That's why psychologists don't like lay hypnotists who haven't gone through college and gotten their bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree. It's because we go through weekend training, and even though the hypnosis skills are so powerful that you can really do a lot of good in a short training, the problem is that because the training's so short and you don't have enough practice, you crank out a whole bunch of incompetent people who are insecure, who don't know how to get clients and don't really know how to get great results. And so they don't do anything with it. Or they go and they do stuff, and then their clients don't have very good results, and then it's bad for the profession. And so it really frustrates me. It's a big problem in our profession that we do not value our profession and our talents enough. So we give it away. And then because you give it away, you can't spend enough quality time with people. If I was charging $2,200 to train people for 6 months, I would go broke. You can't do that. I was getting paid $10,000 for an hour keynote. And I'm going to spend, the next 100 hours with you for $2,200. I just don't think so. So I get really frustrated, so my point is that when I do this, I'm going to be outstanding at it, right? 100% better believe that I'm going to be outstanding with this, that I'm going to train the best students that there are, and, and produce incredible people who know how to create amazing results. And then, of course, a big part of my program is teaching you how to get clients and how to develop the mindset, the business mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, because 80% of hypnotists are broke, right? I traveled to all the biggest conferences, hypnosis conferences for years, and everybody struggled with the money. I started calling myself the money guy, which I didn't even like doing because I was never about the money. I was about the love and hugs, and helping people feel good. But I got so sick of it, that people weren't making any money. And, that I started saying, all right, these are the seminars and this is what we're going to do. And I started teaching people how to actually make money. And even then people sabotage themselves because they had limiting beliefs that, well, if I do this wonderful work, that I taint it if I charge for it. And I had that stupid belief too. And all it did was keep me broke. So I didn't have any money to advertise. And so I couldn't grow. I couldn't have consistent clients, and I constantly struggled. And if you're constantly struggling and worrying how you're going to pay your bills, then how are you going to be out there doing outstanding work? Right. And so that's the circle that people find themselves in. And so I'm doing something about it. It's another big mountain, but I'm going to do something about it. And I'm looking for people who want to join me on that. I love being collaborative and working with people to be able to create big opportunities and make real magic happen for lots and lots of people, and do it in a way that can help you to create, a really great lifestyle. So, one of the secrets that we talked about that I promised you in this meeting today was, where are they? My little Post-it notes. So, secret one, how to transform people's lives. We've been talking about that using the one belief away method, upgrading beliefs, right? And getting people to love themselves, and then teaching them a growth mindset and a psychology of success, what people might call a prosperity mindset or an abundance mindset, where you are constantly training yourself to be outstanding, right? And then you have outstanding results. Secret 2 is creating a life, moving from scarce, I can't read my own writing. Oh, tremendous meaning and freedom. We talked about that too, right? Having tremendous freedom and meaning from being able to help people You know, I had a really beautiful moment right before we got on here. I got to do a cool session with my oldest son just to help him feel confident and secure about going to college. It was so beautiful, right? It was so beautiful. And we got to share that. If I didn't know how to do this stuff, I would have no idea how to help, you know, besides give him a hug. But because I have these superpowers, I knew exactly what to do, and it was fantastic, right? So helping your friends, your kids, your family, your friends. I mean, it's really amazing. So, and then the secret number 3, the executive level income without years and years of college. So that's what I did, right? I went to college, 4 years, took me 4.5 years, almost 5 years to get out of get my bachelor's degree. And then I went to get my master's degree, and that took 2 more years. And then I did that. And then I went to Chicago because I was working on my doctorate. So I did another year there. And then I had like 2 more years to go for that. You know, so I was at 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, like 10 years, you know, to go be Dr. Tim, the psychotherapist, so I could go work in a hospital, right? Which I was already doing that. I worked in inpatient, outpatient, addiction programs. I was an addictions counselor, taking people to AA meetings, working with kids that were kicked out of school, kids that were in gangs. I did all that stuff for years while I was going through school. And it was horrible what I experienced. I mean, nobody got better. Everybody was put on medication, antidepressants, and there was hardly any change or recovery that ever happened. It was heartbreaking. And I found that half the staff were sicker than the kids that were there, right? A lot of wounded people go into psychology. So, and so what did I get from that? Well, I had a bunch of degrees that I didn't really use any of the tools that I got from those degrees. All my tools that I use came from hypnosis and neurolinguistics, and then just being in the trenches, developing new tools and strategies. And I had, you know, 5 figures worth of debt, you know, and it took me years to get out of that debt. I had a 10% interest rate for a student loan. Now Biden is like wiping out student loans, but I didn't. I had to pay 10% on my student loans. That's so dumb. You know, penalize me for trying to get an education so I can be a contributing human being in America. So anyway, with the hypnosis program, it's not like that at all. Our hypnosis program is 12 grand or 10,500 if you pay all in upfront, right? So it costs more to go to barber school. It costs more to go to cosmetology school. It costs more to be a massage therapist. And then, of course, if you want to be, you know, in trade schools or anything else, it costs much, much more. And I can help you to be certified in 6 months, right? Where it took years and years for me to go through. So this program will give you a better training. It gives you the skills that you use immediately. I took all the fluff away, and I'm giving you the special forces, the ninja skills of personal transformation, right? That is extraordinary. These skills and these tools will help you to change people as fast as Tony Robbins. And Tony's doing it with a rock concert these days, so he drags it out. But he got famous using NLP skills and shifting behavior very quickly. I can show you how to do the exact same thing, right? And be just as competent and just as skilled with it. So it takes about 6 months to be able to take you through this and teach you all the best stuff. Are you going to be the best in the world at the end of 6 months? You're going to be real close. Yeah. And I say that because you're going to have the skills and the education and the tools that most people don't get going through traditional hypnosis programs. They're being taught history and all these different theories, and then they're being taught all these other spiritual techniques and then all these other things, which are great, but that's not what's changing people, you know, in mainstream America. But these tools are. And so, you know, we cut out all that other stuff and we really focus in on the result or the tools that produce consistent results every single time. So, so it can save you years. It can save you a ton of money. It can give you a set of life skills. It's pretty extraordinary. So those are the secrets. And of course, our program is a big part of it is teaching you the business mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, the ability to know how to get clients, because that's what everybody's big fear is. How do I get clients? Right? And they're not just going to knock on your door. And I'm going to show you how to do it organically, how to do it through paid advertising, how to do it in a variety of ways. I've sold millions of dollars in hypnosis products and services. And so I'm going to teach you what I did and what I'm doing now. And it's the best business in the world because there's not even overhead. I don't even have an office anymore. Right? I have like 0 expenses except for my team that I pay and for some ads that I'll run occasionally. And I'm doing great. And one more thing, the starting salary or the starting hourly rate for a hypnotist is $150. Like if you charge less than $150, stop doing hypnosis sessions. You're ticking me off, okay? Because you're undervaluing, again, what we do, because hypnotists don't charge for the hour. We charge for the outcome. Therapists charge for the hour because they're going to talk to you for an hour and then you're going to leave and you're going to feel exactly the same until next Thursday, where you're going to do the same thing, all right? We don't do that. We create a shift every single session. People are like, wow, that was amazing. And the next session, wow, that was amazing. I feel different. I feel lighter. I think differently. I'm showing up in a new way now, and it's lasting. It's sustainable, right? And so it's $150 an hour. Does that mean you're going to have, 40 clients every week at $150 an hour? Not at first, no, but you can. I did. We had 60 clients a week, and I was selling packages and it was more like $200 for a session, right? We were making a lot of money. And I had a whole team that was working with me, all those brilliant hypnotists that I trained. Then I hired them because I knew they were awesome. And so I hired them, right? And we did that, and it was amazing for a while until I got caught up in corporate America and public speaking. And so I went that direction, right? And started doing those programs. But I did that for a while, and now the world has shifted. There aren't that many speaking engagements anymore because of the pandemic. And so I'm shifting back to what I know and love. And that's probably where I'm going to stay for the next 20 years. I always thought of myself as the old Orman McGill, the dean of American hypnotists, when I'm older, and just students around and I'm teaching them little cool tricks and techniques and stuff like that. I'm traveling around the world teaching hypnosis, and that sounds fun to me. And so that's my plan right now. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any questions that you might have. So you can go ahead and either just unmute yourself, or if you want to click the camera on, you can do that too. But I'm going to go ahead and get quiet now. Feel free to ask any questions that you might have about our hypnosis program, certification, or any of the other stuff that I talked about today. I'll hang out with you as long as you want to make sure that everybody's questions are answered. All right, Josh, you're up, brother.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, so glad you're with me today.
I really enjoyed this. So yeah, it's really great.
Good. I'm glad.
I just wanted to I've been in talk therapy since 2004, and I've just been struggling. And like you said, the VA has just been pumping full of pills. And just the short amount of time I've had with you is changed my whole life. And I'm really looking forward to this. And we're going to make it happen. We're all in. Mm-hmm. I want to, I've been able to help, veterans, just by being myself and being in a leadership position in the military, and then these guys seeing it, and now, being able to, offer them a new way, a new avenue, here in the near future is really, we're excited. Bethany and I are all in. So this is great.
Well, thank you, Josh. I mean, it gives me chills because you and Bethany are, two of my favorite people. You're really a power couple. And I know that you're going to do extraordinary. You're going to give such a gift to so many people, even more than you already have. You're already such an influential couple. And with these tools and these strategies and the support and everything else, it's going to be mind blowing. You're going to look back a couple of years from now and it's just going to be like joyful, right? The amount of good that you two are going to do in this world. I'm very excited to be a part of that. So thank you very much for sharing your story and hanging out with us. And anybody that continues with us on this journey, they're going to hear more from you, Josh, and more of your story and all the value that you bring to this conversation. So, and to our movement, it's going to be really good.
So exciting.
Yes. Outstanding. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right. John.
Hello, Tim. How are you?
Good. Are you in a hotel?
I am. I'm in a hotel. I'm down in Naples, Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's a great place to be hiding out for a day, right? So yeah, I had to come and do some stuff, some work stuff. So, but yeah, no, everything's good down here. My wife wants to move down here, so she put a lot of pressure on me because I do a lot of work down here. But anyway, hey, thanks for putting this together. It's fantastic. You know, we haven't talked in 30 years or more, and but I've been following you. You've been doing some amazing things. Very proud of you. So. Thank you for doing that. You know, in my world and my executive coaching type say, you know, I kind of, you talk about those limited beliefs and you put yourself in a situation where you're in your comfort zone. You know, I always find myself working with those executives, those narcissistic people, and I just make them better narcissists, you know, and when I saw your email come through, I'm like, okay, that's a smack in the face. And that's fantastic. You know, giving back to the people that actually need it and actually use it, you know, because, you know, you cherry pick, especially when you have more than one thing going on, which I know you've been in that situation before, and I am as well. So when you cherry pick, you really don't take advantage of the true value that you have, the people that truly need you, you know, and that's where my shift is. So I'm really excited about this. I'm still trying to negotiate in my head how I'm going to manage that first 10-day thing because I teach at Purdue, so I have to be there. I have to figure that out. But you know, other than that, I'm really excited about this because this is just something I need just as much as everybody else that's going to be helped by it too. If you're going to do it before the semester over, I can make it work. I could just do my class remotely on that day, so don't change it for me. But I was just worried about in the summertime. I got. You know, summertime, you know how we do the accelerated classes.
Yes.
So it's like I'm there more often, you know. So the
date I put down is April 15th, right? Okay. So so it would be right in that period. But I want to point out something that you just did, John, because you just gave an example of someone who showed an extraordinary mindset. And excellent. I hope everybody caught it. Okay. And if you didn't, I'm going to point it out. And this is what I do when we're teaching, actually, you know, because it is very interactive and immersive. When we go through this training program, you're going to walk out so confident because we've done it so many times that you're going to feel the confidence. People complain because they don't know how to make money, and they complain. The second big complaint is I don't feel confident in my skills. I don't get that from my graduates. They're like, no, bring it on. I got this. Okay. So what you did was you said, it's tough, but even though I'm teaching, I'll just make it work and I'll do it virtual.
Yeah.
Right? That is an example of someone who makes things happen, right? You were saying what was going on. You said, don't change it for me. I'll make it work. And then you said, I'll just find a way to make it work and do virtual. And those are the kinds of people that get outstanding results. They don't say I can't, they say, how can I, you know, and what can I do and what is possible? And you just did a great job of demonstrating that. So,
well, that's awesome. And I'll take that. Thank you very much, because I just did it again while you're talking, because on April 20th, I'm speaking at US Bank in Dalton to them. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that virtual as well. So tomorrow I have to call my contact and say, hey, listen, you need to put a TV screen up there. I'm going to have to send you a video and get my little talk in there, you know. Yeah. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, that's cool.
We'll figure it out, you know. And if you had to fly for a day and then come back or something, I mean, we can figure this out. We can be flexible. But what I have learned is that when you're intentional, the world moves for you. When you're intentional and you're decisive and you say, I'm doing this, it works out. I was in a situation where I was booked at 2 different places at the same time, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And so I got intentional that I was going to focus on the one that I felt was the most important, and I had been booked the longest, and they were really counting on me. And so they weren't paying me as much. The other one was paying me more, but I felt like that's where I needed to be. And so I got intentional, and I said, I'm doing it with them. And I called the other company, and you know what they said? They said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called, because we moved the date. You know, if I would have canceled with the first one to chase the money, I would have lost both. Right. And so instead I got intentional. I did the one, they changed the date, and I got both of them in. So it's all about being intentional.
And that wasn't an accident. There's higher powers that help with those things. I truly believe that, you know, and that's why you see on my little background here, my company's called Intentus, which is Latin for intent, right? So
yes.
Yeah, without that, we wouldn't be where we're at. So anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time on this, but one question I do have in regard to the whole format and everything like that, and when we get started, the whole hypnosis type thing, you say there's a certification, and this is through the different governing bodies that you put in the flip book and put on there. Is this a licensure, or because they call it clinical hypnosis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, when you are certified, you can call yourself a hypnotist. You can call yourself a hypnotherapist.
Okay.
Right. So you'll be able to do that. Every state and every province and country, they'll have different laws. And so there's resources to find out what the laws are in your state. Like some places you have to be certified with the board that certifies psychotherapists.
Yes.
And hypnotists, and you have to be in there, and then you have to call yourself a hypnotherapist, right? So they will have different laws, and we've got to figure out what the laws are in your state. And so however, the National Guild of Hypnotists requires 100 hours of certification. And I was an instructor for them, and I always thought their materials were terrible, which is sad because they're like the oldest, largest, association in the world for hypnotists, but their training materials were terrible and they never made them better. And then it's 240 hours, I think, for to be certified through the International Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association and the International Association of Counselors and Therapists, which you can be. Now they're much more, I felt that they were a higher level of education. And so, you would be able to be certified through there. And they even have, I don't want to get too deep into this, but you'll even, you can get like a student membership through them. It's really cheap. And then, have access to all their resources in their library and all the tools that can be really nice. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's yeah.
All right, cool. All right, thank you. And it's great to connect again, Tim. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you too, John. Thanks so much.
Right. Oh no, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to this. I learned a lot. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you there. I don't really have any questions.
Well, I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you for being with us, and then thank you for speaking up and saying something, because that's really nice. I appreciate that. A lot of times people don't do that, and so the fact that you did, it says a lot about who you are. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, no problem, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. And I also want to say thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this. This is you are one of the common denominators of people who have definitely put me in the path where I'm at today, and definitely checked me at very key moments where things could have went south. And I think about it quite often. You're always in the forefront of my mind. So thank you for that. And I'm very excited for this. And that's really all I have to say is thank you. And just kind of like how John said, even though we're extremely busy, we're going to make it happen. So thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So it's always great to see you again. And it's amazing what you're doing and all the accomplishments that you have as well. And I love the background that you have with the lion and everything, because I know you're a very intentional guy. So very smart, very smart. Jordan is a very talented NLP practitioner and does a lot of great stuff with hypnosis. We've started connecting. Were you 19 when I first met you?
So I think so. I snuck into a TED Talk and met you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing a TED Talk and that's where I first met you, and we've been friends and staying connected ever since, all these years. So that's awesome. So yes, Absolutely. Thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah, I do have a question. Where will the live event be?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
I think it's the cheapest place to do it. Right. And so instead of having to fly, for West Coast, East Coast, Canada, it's kind of neutral. And then, and it's really nice. And in April, the weather starts to be really nice as well. Indiana in the springtime is beautiful. So spring and summer are amazing in Indiana and central Indiana. So So yeah, that's where it would be.
Perfect. I'll be there.
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Tim, hi, it's Bethany.
Hey, Bethany. Yay.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us tonight.
Absolutely. This is so exciting. And thank you so much for just always pouring into people. You know, you are making such a difference in the world. And we are just honored to know you and to be able to be coached by you and be a part of anything that you're doing. So thank you so much. Well,
thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. And, you know, all the love, all the caring comments and everything. It just, you know, this is the community that I want to be a part of, and you're the people I want to hang out with, right? And then together we will go and change so many lives. And I mean generational, all right, for generations, because think about people that don't ever have the breakthrough, that stay stuck in their suffering for their whole life. What that does with their relationship with their spouses, with their kids, you know, and with their own health, with their quality of life. And think about what would happen when we change that around, right? And we've all had, those of us that have taken this journey, because I've taken it myself as well, we know that it allows you to live in a bigger way, to be there for more people, to be able to love in a more genuine, authentic way, to really be your best self and show up as the best version of you. And you know, you're going to stumble, and there's going to be hard times, and there's going to be pain and frustration, but you'll have a set of tools that will help you to pivot and help you to shift, right? I always talk about it's exciting to know how to get your shift together, right? And so that you don't lose days and weeks and months. You might have a couple bad hours, right? But then you can pivot and get back on track. So so that's what really gets me excited, that we can hang out together, we can do this together, we can all use our skills, and then I can share the skills that I have with you and give you these talents. When you combine them with the talents you're already bringing to the table, we're talking next level. And, you know, it really is. When I talk about building an army of healers, I wasn't going to call it an army at first, because I don't know, army and healers didn't seem like it was right. But Joe Vitale, he says, that is what you do. He's don't build a community of healers, because it seems like that's what everybody's doing. Build an army of healers who are going to move mountains and kick ass and make things happen. And I said, that's exactly what I want. And that's what we're doing. And I can tell already by just one call here tonight that we're attracting, you know, some really powerful people. So yay.
Well, we are here for it, Tim. We are here for it 100%. And we're ready to just learn from you and absorb all of your knowledge and go out and do our part to try to make a difference, because you've made a difference in our lives. And just like you said, generational, I mean, already in our children's lives as well. And we just want to be able to pay it forward. So thank you for allowing this opportunity.
You are welcome. It is my pleasure. All right. Well, I can't say it better than Bethany. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up then with that sentiment. And so if you are interested, then schedule that entrance call with me. If you go to www.obahypnosis.com, you can schedule. You might have to scroll down a little bit until I update the website again. But go ahead and schedule an entrance call, and that way we can talk a little bit more, and then we can start to actually plan. And then once I know that we're moving forward, then I got to get going on getting a room and putting it all together and all that logistical fun stuff, not fun stuff, but we'll get it done. So, so schedule those calls as soon as you can, so that I know where we are and who we're with and what kind of space we need. And then we will go from there. All right. So thanks so much for being a part of this tonight, and God bless you. And we will talk to you again real soon.